This is our first attempt at a live stream event. Today we're going to be talking about Aquaman,
Yep.
and I'm on the air with my wife Vivian,
Hello, everyone.
and I'm not sure if this is going. It says
I, yeah, I
it,
can't see us. I can't see you on your YouTube channel, babe. It's still saying that waiting for Quentin last.
okay.
Wait, hang on.
That's
Oh, wait, hang on a minute. We're live here. I
oh,
see
we
now.
are live. Are we on a different? Hold on, I have to see if.
Yeah, we are live.
Okay, we are live. All right, so I was on the wrong. Okay.
Woohoo! We did it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was. I never want to repeat this again.
You might have to next time we do a review, babe.
I have to mute. Now I have to mute the channel. Okay. Oh wait. Okay. So can you hear yourself talking on the video?
No, I can't because I muted it.
Okay, cool. All right, I have to invite everybody in. I should have done this like long before, but then this is
Our first time. It's okay.
our first time. I know, seriously. So we're talking
People,
about Aquaman today. My computer is really slow in typing all this stuff. Uh, um, okay, so what were your thoughts on Aquaman? What did you think about it overall?
um, overall, I mean, it's Jason Momoa, so obviously he's always a good actor and someone, he's he really he knows how to deliver a character. That's one thing I like about him, and he picks similar characters to that raw, rough and ready outlook that he has.
Yeah.
So it matches him. The only thing, overall, I thought it was an okay film. There are things that I wish they had done differently, which we're going to go into more detail. But overall, I thought it was an okay film. It was, amazing, amazing animation, how they put everything together. Just thought there was too much explosions for no reason.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, under the sea, I thought they were going to do something more interesting with weapons, something that's more connected to the ocean,
Hmm.
rather than the mundane, oh, let's just bomb each other out kind of thing.
Right.
So I love the connection between the dad and Jason and how they didn't make Aquaman kind of like good at everything.
Right.
So I like the part where they were bonding. Um, so yeah, overall, it was an okay film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any like what did you think of the characters that they had?
Um, Nicole Kidman did a good job of playing the mother.
Yeah.
Uh, I felt like the teacher, he was amazing.
Right.
And
Willem
I
Dafoe.
would, yeah, I would have liked to, like, off the bat, I know I don't read any comic books, so I don't know anything about the background story. I'm going in as someone who's just, who has no idea who Aquaman is. So
Right.
I'm relying on the director and the storytelling to introduce this character to me. And the way I felt was they really rushed through his childhood, his training, and the ancient civilization of Atlantis,
Hmm.
how it all became, how it got sunk. It was just like really rushed through. Like, let's just get through this so there's some history and background for people to, get a picture. It would have been nice if they actually took their time and made this into two movies. So the first one would have been about I would have liked to have heard Nicole Kidman narrate the story of Atlantis to little Aqua boy, I guess.
Arthur.
Arthur, yeah, that's it. God, it's like so I would have liked her like literally telling the story of Atlantis to Arthur when he was a little boy, and that would have shown us, you know, a backdrop of where she comes from. And then from there, how she then gets captured. And then from there, how the teacher comes into his life and trains him and teaches him about, you know, the skills and all the different, how to use the weapons and everything. It would have been nice if they had done that, you know, because they did that with Batman and Superman. And
yeah, but you don't want a cookie cutter kind of thing, do you?
No, I don't. But I didn't get to understand a lot of what was like the background story of Atlantis and stuff. So it would have been nice if they shown us that. And then I was thinking, when he has been trained for a little while, you know, he starts to, you know, like what was his life between him training and becoming Aquaman? You know, we don't get any of that. We kind of like literally when we go into the film, it's him coming onto the submarine and just, you know, he's already Aquaman.
Yeah.
So for someone who doesn't read the comics and doesn't know anything about this this universe, I have no idea. I'm like, oh, okay, you know. I was waiting for them to just show us a little bit more about what was going on before he was, you know, Aquaman. So that was me. And I would have thought it would have been, you know, when he jumped on the submarine and then he turns around and he goes, permission to
come aboard.
That is how I would have ended the first Aquaman. And that would have been a cliffhanger. And I would be like, oh my God, I want to see what happens in the next one. Because now after the story of his, of Atlantis, his childhood, and now I get to see who Aquaman really is. And then the next one is going to be him fighting off, you know, the bad guy and the war underneath the kingdoms underneath, you know, Atlantis that are going into war. That would have been, you know, how I would have liked to have seen it grow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. They did cover it, but I want to step away from the conversation real quick and just address everyone that's popped up in the chat so far. We've got Bonnie Burgess who joined us. She may not be here right now.
Hey.
And then there's Sith Kryptonian.
Hey, Sith.
Of the Senate. And there's Proper Jeremy, also of the Senate.
Hey, Proper Jeremy.
And no, she's not a figment of my imagination.
What?
That's Sith. Being a goof. Cracks me up.
Oh
okay,
my God.
So, well, you did get a little bit of a backstory on Atlantis.
Yes.
It wasn't extensive, and it's interesting because they got more into it. You got the real story when Willem Dafoe showed up, and they were talking about the trident,
right?
That they were after. So you got but I kind of wish that they'd have that in the beginning, you know, because I don't know a whole lot about. Oh my God.
Hmm?
Sis says blink twice if you're being held hostage.
What? No,
I think Sith is playing one of his date nights.
Oh gosh. We're not like that, Sith. Like, it's not. It's not our thing.
Oh man, I told you not to go see 50 Shades of, what was it? Gray, black,
Gray.
red, pink.
Okay, back to story. But you know what? I just want to say quickly that I would have liked to have seen more about the king who left Atlantis after it got sunk, and you know how the technology got developed, how this whole city a network underneath the ocean got developed after it got sunk. Like, I was really interested in that. Like, you know, and they missed a big plot of the story that didn't get mentioned because they wanted to squeeze it into one film.
Yeah, they did that with The Hobbit when they introduced the dwarves and that stone that was so precious to the dwarves.
Right.
And they also did it in Hellboy 2 with the story that was being read to Hellboy when he was a little boy by Professor Broom. And it was like
Right.
that whole everything was done with puppets because he was really into that puppet show on TV. So you saw it through his eyes. And it showed like how the war came about, what happened, and the devastation that occurred from the Golden Army. So yeah, I wish all that had kind of been in the beginning. That way you get it out of the way and you don't have to backtrack. And in this movie, there was a lot of backtracking back and forth.
Yeah, which got
And
confusing.
it got confusing and it broke the rhythm of the movie.
Right. Yeah.
Along with the music. I mean, the music for me is everything to a movie. Without music, you don't know really what's happening. Is this a serious moment? Is this a lighthearted moment? Is it a fun moment? Is it a dark and heavy moment? So the music in this was all over the place. I mean, I heard Tron Legacy, I heard Pacific Rim. You know, Pacific Rim came in with the guitar, the heavy guitar, uh, when Arthur came on board or Aquaman came on board the sub. You hear that grinding, you know, lead guitar, and you know, it's just what was it? What else? What they had like music from the Transformers as well. Like
Mhm.
I was hearing like Steve Jablonsky. I was hearing Daft Punk. And I'm like, I'm really confused. What movie am I watching?
Right.
So,
Yeah, exactly. And totally agree with, like, the music was everywhere. And then there was rap music at one point.
yeah,
Um, so
it's like,
I was just like, this is gangster. And you know, in the trailer, I actually was disappointed to see that they made Aquaman a bit gangster. I was like, this is not Aquaman. I mean, okay, so he didn't grow up with the royals and he doesn't have all the mannerisms and stuff, but I don't know, it's not like he grew up in the hood. and
yeah,
and they made him a big gangster, and I was just like, huh, it's just not how I saw an ancient civilization, and him especially being trained by someone who, for most of his childhood,
yeah,
that he would still be like that. And you know, and then there was the Little Mermaid scene in the Italian
yeah. I was going to mention that.
village. But again, it's like, you guys are supposed to be more advanced than humans. Therefore, you would have studied us at some point and know what is what, you know. And I don't know. It was just weird. Because she came across as a very intelligent, very headstrong character when she was introduced, and then suddenly she plays this dumb bimbo, and I'm like, what? It's like,
Yeah,
what happened?
yeah. Yeah, my thing with Arthur is like I wanted to see more of his training because I'm a sucker for training, and that's what I liked
Yeah.
about what was it, Batman Begins. You see Bruce run off and jump on board a ship that takes him God knows where. He ends up in China. Oh, said they cut themselves off from the surface. Well, yeah, they did, but you know, his dad wasn't gangster. His dad was educated.
Yeah, he was actually very zen-like. Like, he gave
Yeah,
me this very zen feeling, his dad, very
right.
calm and collected, and had a free-spirited kind of persona, you know, to him. And so, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, because that is Jason Momoa's, his overall look is very rough and ready. Like, I get that about
yeah.
Jason, but he could also be very, you know, not intellectual, but like
Knowledgeable at least.
knowledgeable. Yeah. And I know there were some parts where he played a bit too dumb, and I'm like, It just doesn't fit. Like the character just kind of went up and down a little bit for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get, and another thing is like he grew up like I don't know, was it in Maine or near Nova Scotia somewhere? He was like he was so far removed from like city life that none of that would have really rubbed off on him. I mean, you talk to people that are from like Maine or New Hampshire or Connecticut, you know, they have a completely different vibe than what he portrayed. And you know, the dad, I didn't see much influence on the dad except for the drinking, you know. Um, but I do like the way that they showed the father son bonding. That was a great scene, and that's something that you find in a lot of the American movies that are influenced by China. You see a lot of strong family values,
Right.
and I'm just reading what Sith wrote. True,
I
I
know.
also feel.
Yeah, I'm trying to like type this in and think at the same time. So
Yeah. But yeah, I want to see more of what we saw in Batman Begins with the training. Like, you know, he just goes off
yeah.
and disappears, and you get maybe a few flashbacks of Bruce being trained while he's fighting the bad guys. Like that doesn't work, you know. And
Right.
I mean, I can understand they're trying to tie into different lessons that he learned and how they apply in the moment. But it's like you're treating the audience like a bunch of idiots. Like, oh, they won't remember any of this. You know, it's like, well, try us. You know,
Right.
surprise us, show us
Yeah.
everything, and then see how much we remember during the film. It's like, oh yeah, remember he got taught that. Blah 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 blah. You
Yeah.
know, and it makes your audience think, and it doesn't treat them like a bunch of idiots where you have to spoon feed them along the way.
Right.
And that's this in a way that's disrespect to the audience. Like, oh, they won't get this part. They won't figure this out. It's like try us, you know.
Right.
Um, so yeah, the training stuff, and then with Volko, the character that trained um, Arthur, played by Willem Dafoe, he did a great job. I wish he had more scenes.
Hmm.
Uh, I wish he had more depth. I mean, it's like they only focused on the physical, the athletic stuff.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
there was no philosophy.
Yeah. I was just about to say he looks like someone who would be the philosopher, the trainer, the skilled master.
A mentor.
You know, yeah, a mentor. So it would have been nice to have him train Arthur some of that, shown us some of that philosophy and behind it. You know,
We didn't get to see anything about what Atlantis represents,
yes,
really,
yeah,
because all we could hear throughout the film, he doesn't understand us. He's not Atlantean. He's never been here. It's like, well, neither have we, actually. We don't know what Atlantis is all about, so we can't make a comparison. We can't make any kind of observation of who Arthur is and does he fit in with the Atlantean philosophy or way of life.
And then again, all the different cultures that were in Atlantis, you know, we didn't get any background story on them. They kind of just ran through their current state very quickly. You know, what they are, their names, what they're doing, their situation. Like there was no background on when Atlantis sank. You know, how did these split off and go into different civilizations and how they became, you know, what they are today.
Yeah.
That would have been really interesting too. So it's like almost the first film should have just set the basics of what Aquaman is, like his background, where is his ancestry from. That would have made it really interesting to then see where he's going to, you know, what's going to happen between Atlantis and like people, humans, basically.
Yeah, for a first movie, I wanted to find out more about the fishermen. I wanted to find out more about the people that Dolph Lundgren ruled over. I wanted to find out more about, you know, what was it? Oh, the deserters. Oh my God. Where did they go? They went to the desert. That's why we call them the deserters. It's not because they left. And it's like some of the things that they came up with were a little corny.
Right.
But I wanted to find out. It's like, okay, why did they leave, and why did the trench beasts, like the ones that lived in the trench,
Yeah.
why did they split up, and why do they regress? Why did some races of Atlantis evolve and develop? I mean, the fishermen seem to be really more spiritually developed than everyone else because they wanted to teach the land
Right.
dwellers. And then you have like this class or race that Arthur belonged to, and there was a large contingent of them that wanted to just like dominate the land dwellers and just grind them under their boot heels. And then you've got Dolph Lundgren. It's like, okay, so they look like the same race of people that Arthur belongs to, but obviously
Hmm.
they're different. So what's the difference?
Right.
I wanted to see more introduction to them. I want their backstory, so
Yeah.
that way it adds depth to this world that Arthur is about to step into, and the audience is going, okay, I see why they are the way they are and why they are. And so I can kind of see it's like, okay, so he should go with, the fishermen and hang out with them and try
Right.
to get, people to rethink this idea of taking over the surface.
And you know what's interesting is that it would have been interesting if the teacher had introduced each race to Arthur when he was a little boy.
Yeah.
To kind of, this is like part of your, this is part of your part of Atlantis. They just went
Right.
off and did their own thing, but introduce them, and like he could have had friends in different parts of these different cultures and stuff.
Yeah, I can see I could see Volko sitting on the beach and telling stories about the fishermen and about the deserters and who these people were and why they left, why they split off, and um, yeah, it's just there's so much to talk about. It's almost overwhelming, and that's
It
why I
is.
would totally reboot this movie.
Yeah. And the thing I keep getting is that because Marvel's superhero movies are coming to an end, it's almost like it feels like DC is trying to catch up with them. But I feel like this is when DC should be taking their time. And by the time Marvel's done with their superhero stories, DC has the whole game to itself to really slowly showcase each of these superheroes, because no one is going to get tired of watching good superhero movies. And
Oh,
so if they had took their time to do backstories on each of their superheroes now, in the next couple of years when Marvel dies down with after Infinity War, and they're not going to make any more Iron Man or Hulk movies or anything like that. So DC could have just really took over with the next steps of, okay, Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Batman, Superman, all that. So I don't know. It just feels like they rushed it, and they're missing a really good opportunity here.
yeah. I'll just take a moment. It's like Sith is saying that you're going to replace me in the Senate. Yeah, if you're not careful, Sith, she's going to be the Senate.
Oh God, really? And then he's doing that evil laugh. That should be like our opening. Like
The laugh.
yeah,
No music, just a laugh.
I know. Oh,
Oh my god.
Roger's in the house.
But getting back to Aquaman. Okay, so we talked about the music. We talked about some of the characters. Actually, one character in particular that really got on my nerves was Black Manta himself. Uh, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Yahya Abdul Mateen II. If I
Okay.
butchered that name, I'm so sorry. I loved his father, Michael Beach. He played Jesse, and so he was Black Manta's father.
Right.
I love that actor. I've seen him in other things. I can't remember what I've seen him in, but
Mm-hmm.
he's brilliant. And I feel like I wish we could have seen more of a connection between father and son before they killed off the dad. It's like the whole
Yeah.
movie just seemed rushed. Like
Yeah.
okay, here's this guy, here's that guy. Oh, he's dead now, but we're moving on, you know. And I wanted to see more depth, and I guess this is as far as James Wan could take it, you know, for himself. I mean, he gave us a lot of he gave us a great light show underwater. He gave us a great battle. It was epic, Lord of the Rings style, but underwater. Um, and But again, I mean, the movie was all over the place. It kept breaking rhythm, and it didn't really stay long enough for us to develop a relationship with any of the characters, for us to feel something. It's like when the dad died, I was like, oh, okay, he's dead now, you know. And now Black Manta's mad.
Right.
Okay, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling any of that connection. It's like, you know, was his dad a good dad? Was he, you know, it's like you don't get into that. And then Arthur is just so flippant with the way, oh, well, the ocean's going to decide your fate. It's like, okay, random.
Yeah.
You know, where did he get that from? You know, there's no background to that statement. There's no background to that mentality, because that kind of it hints towards the way the Atlanteans view everything. You know, like the mom said, Atlantis doesn't forgive. You know,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I wanted to see more.
Yeah, because and
More.
you pointed something out really interesting, was that the other day we were talking about this film and you said it's so funny, this film is of the ocean but there is no depth. Like even the battle that there was the last battle scene, and when they went from the surface and they sunk the camera down into the sea to get to the, you know, the battleground, it's like it didn't go very deep. You know,
No.
I would have liked to have seen them go really deep into darkness, and then you see a bit of light, and then, you know, gradually the light gets bigger and um there's this big battle scene waiting right at the bottom of the ocean. Like, you didn't get that. The camera literally went from the surface and then it went like a couple of inches down and there it was. And I was like, wait, are they really that close to the surface?
I would have liked to have seen some kind of effect on the surface
Right.
from that battle, because it was so volatile.
Yeah.
And it should have had some kind of impact on the surface. Like what happens below should also affect the surface, just as what
Right.
happens on the surface affects the ocean. And Sith actually brought up a good point about the knife. He wanted to see what made that knife so important.
Right.
You know, it's like, I'm giving you this knife. Okay, so what did Grandpa use that knife for? Well, he used to cut open the cans of his rations back in the war. It's like, no, he did stuff with it, you know. So you know, I just, again, yeah, it's a little bit more a little bit more time on backstory, and a little bit more time, or less time, with you know, Ariel, the Disney princess in the Italian village, who gets this random book from this little girl, and oh, it happens to be Pinocchio, and that's where you got that idea from. And he's going, oh, there's a book, I saw it in a movie. You know, it's like, oh, please, really? Yeah, I could literally feel my IQ dropping at that point, and
Did,
it
did,
hurt.
Dis- did Disney pay them to do an aerial? They're like, hey, look, guys, let me just, you know, like give you ads to your budget. Here's 100 million or 100,000. Just drop in some Disney things in there.
Yeah, it's not Detective Comics anymore. It's now Disney Comics. So
Yeah.
that's what DC stands for, Detective Comics. But
Oh, I
Sith
see.
mentions that, yeah, it was an Atlantean blade, and yeah, I would have loved to have seen how he got it too, because that was, and that's another thing. What's he's knife proof. No knife can pierce his flesh unless it's an Atlantean blade. It's like,
Mm,
okay, that's new, you know.
right.
Oh, Sith didn't like my Disney Comics reference. DC is next, Sith. It's Disney's coming for it.
Oh my
First it
gosh.
was Marvel, then it was Fox, now it's DC. So yeah, um, yeah, Batman will come up with mouse ears in the next franchise kickoff.
Right.
So yeah, yeah. See, now all the other people are starting to notice things like, yeah, I would have liked to have learned more about this. I want to learn more about that. So
Yeah. So overall, I think Aquaman was an okay film. It missed out a lot of really good points that would have made this film like amazing.
okay, like what?
Well, like the backstory of Atlantis, like where did the
Okay.
king go? How did Atlantis build the city without the king if his trident was so important above land, above the sea? Like they said something about his trident was the thing that gave energy.
It led them to greater technology,
Right.
which destroyed Atlantis on the surface and sunk it, but it opened them up to new technologies that somehow allowed them to breathe underwater without any kind of aid.
Right.
It's like, how does that happen? It's like, oh, we sunk and this technology has given us the ability to breathe underwater. And I can talk too, and everyone can hear me. It's like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. So just stuff like that. They could have really made this film into two movies and made it really great, just with all the details and everything else that, you know, that would have just given us a backdrop of who Aquaman really is, where he comes from. I don't know. It just went by so quickly, and I felt like compared to the other DC films that they did with Superman and Batman, they really took their time back then to
Yeah.
introduce the characters to us, to have us connect to the characters, so we can feel what they're going through, how difficult things are in terms of making decisions and stuff. But in this one, it was just like you were going through one thing, and then suddenly, like you're taken to the next part, and then suddenly you got taken back to like a flashback. And so I didn't really have time to sink in and like build a connection with anyone.
Yeah, I'm looking at James Wan's other movies, and he's done nothing but horror.
Right.
He's done The Conjuring, he's done The Nun, Saw, Insidious, which is where you also see Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson played they call him the Ocean Master here, but he had a different name. I know
Right.
Sith knows it. But James Wan movies, Furious 7, and I literally felt like I was watching, portions of the Fast and the Furious as well. They got Conjuring, Annabelle, Dead Silence. I mean, these movies are just like, they're popcorn horror flicks, and there's no depth to them. There's no, my God, it just goes on. It's like Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4.5,
Right.
Saw 5, Sawed Off, Lights Out. He did all the Insidious movies. I mean, you and I saw the Insidious movies, and what'd you think of them?
We didn't watch the last one, so we don't really know how it ends. But
All right.
in terms of horror films, it was good. I wouldn't say it was like amazing. As growing up, I watched Exorcism and Poltergeist, and they really got me scared. But Insidious, it was good. It was better than the others that's out there. The other ones that are out there, the ones that like Saw. I would prefer Insidious to Saw, because in terms of horror films,
I saw one of the Saw movies. Oh my God, that sounds so bad. But it was decent. It's I think there was a discussion that Salty and I were having about, and I think Matt Vader, was it Matt Vader or 3PO? I can't remember. But we were talking about the Saw movies and like horror movies in general. And
right.
What makes the difference between a horror movie and a thriller? And I think the Saw movies were more like a thriller; they're more psychological.
Right.
And yeah, Norway says no way. I'm going to butcher this. Neophobic. No, I didn't. No way, neophobic. He's on my Twitter as well.
Right.
He's really cool. Insidious is much better written, much deeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's deeper compared to Saw and all the other ones.
Yeah.
Because
it takes you on a deeper journey anyway.
And there was something relatable about it because it was based on a family. Was
Yeah.
it based? Yeah, it was based on a family, right? It's been so long since we watched it. So I think it was more relatable, Insidious, at least.
Sith is taking us to a dark place, Vivian.
What's that?
Sith is trying to take us to a dark place.
Oh God.
It's like Insidious, the Darth Sidious Triple X porn parody. Mary's like, you.
Sith, you need to go and see someone and just sort it out, or just get it out of your system.
Get a date, Sith. Get a date, for God's sakes. Get a date.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so oh, that's just bad. I got to come up with a meme just for that.
Oh God.
Jesus.
Oh really?
Okay.
We don't need to know.
That's just too much info.
I know. You can see that on your channel. I won't be tuning in.
Hallelujah. Anyway,
God. Anyway, getting back.
Oh my God, I almost said Game of Thrones.
Oh my God, I'm looking forward to that.
We were talking about Aquaman or Aqua Dude.
Oh gosh.
What's up? I was waiting for him to go surfs up, but no, that didn't happen.
No.
So yeah, this explains a lot. When you look at the track record of a director, I mean, Chris Nolan, I wonder what he would have done with Aquaman.
Right.
Zack Snyder even, so what would he have done with Aquaman?
Right. I was going to say, is there anyone in Aquaman that you would have replaced as a better actor or actress?
Let's see. Nicole Kidman. I don't know. I felt like she was out of place. And Dolph Lundgren just felt like he was window dressing. He didn't say much. He didn't do much. He was just like, oh, I'm like the seaweed. I just go with the current, and it's like, okay. He was like a non-entity. I mean, I would have loved to have kept him in just because, well, Dolph Lundgren, but I want to see him do more, or be more. I would have taken out, I know who I would have replaced for sure. Randall Park. He played Dr. Steven. What's his name? What was his character's name? Anyway, he was that scientist or whatever that they had on the show, and he was the one that was the crazy guy on the interview.
Oh yeah, that Asian
guy.
Yeah, he was the one that was in Ant-Man too, right?
Yep. Yeah, he played the FBI.
Right.
I talked about.
He overdid it, like his character.
Yeah, everything he does is over the top and awkward. Oh, right. Mary Vidalis says Nicole Kidman is a gift from God. Did you see her in Batman Forever? Unfortunately, Mary, I did. I did see her. The only thing I liked, there's two things I liked Nicole Kidman in. Was The Others, where she played a ghost.
I love that. Yeah,
that was great. And Australia,
never watched
with
that.
Hugh Jackman. I love this scene where she's like bebopping along in the truck with the two Aborigines, and she's going, "Oh, look, the kangaroos!" And all of a sudden, the guy on top of the truck shoots one of them. She goes, she freaks out. It was like, that was good. So those two movies I like.
She was good in the one where she was a witch. Her and Sandra Bullock and her was a witch. That was a good film. I can't remember the name of the film.
Playing herself.
Oh, really? All right, let's move on then.
I didn't forget Moulin Rouge, Mary. I just never saw it. I saw the trailers. I was like, well, that's enough for me. It's just like, no. Why is Sith talking about pizza and Jesus in the same sentence?
I don't know. Oh, God.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. I've ruined your day. She's got to go out and get another bottle of wine now.
No, she doesn't. She's gonna go and put some Nicole Kidman on, and then she'll be fine.
Oh yeah, that's true. There you go. See, easy fix. Women know women. That's why they can't stand each other.
Oh. All right, let's get back to which character you want to replace.
Okay, so yeah, I would just eliminate that character. She's into Jaeger. Oh my god. Sorry. She's into Jägermeister. That stuff is like liquid licorice. That's scary stuff. It tastes too good.
Roger loves Jaeger.
Yes, I do. Yeah, and I think with the character of Black Manta, I would have toned him down. He was trying way too hard to be a badass. I don't want the money. I want Aquaman. I'm like, oh man. From the acting school of over the top is Yahya Abdul Mateen II. You know, and it's like it's just it was too much. It was too thick.
Okay. So, but who would you have replaced Nicole Kidman with? Like, you can't cut out her character.
You know, you remember? Okay, who was? What was the girl in John Carter of Mars? Oh, yeah, my Wonder Woman. Well, yeah, our version of Wonder Woman. You know.
What's her name again? Lynn something.
Lynn Carter.
Lynn Carter, yeah.
Lynn Collins. Sorry, Lynn Collins. I probably would have picked Lynn Collins.
Okay.
Simply because she's very strong naturally. She doesn't have to push it. She doesn't have to sell it.
Right.
You know, I feel that I'd like to see more movies with Lynn Collins. Not Linda Carter Sith. No, not Linda Carter. Lynn Collins. Google it. For crying out loud, man. Please. That's just wrong.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. So, yeah, Lynn Collins would be my choice for that character. I don't know. I just felt... I felt with Nicole Kidman, it was too much of that Stepford Wives kind of vibe.
Right.
That whole scene where she first got not abducted, but taken into the lighthouse by the dad. To me, it just felt like a startled kitten rather than a queen, a warrior queen. Right. That is trying to figure out where she's at. She was acting way too naive for my taste. And throwing the trident through the TV, really? It's like...
That's one of the things that I said earlier. It would have been nice to have seen this. It just feels like, okay, they said that they got... they shut themselves off from humans and stuff, but still, I still would have felt they would have studied them in some way. Like they not making contact with them, but study them.
Well, even, Sun Tzu talks about know your enemy.
Right.
And if you don't know who your enemy is and what they're capable, it's obvious they knew everything they needed to know about the land dwellers. They knew about World War II. They knew about the atomic weaponry.
Yeah.
Don't try to tell me that you don't know about the philosophy of people and what are roses? Really? You're gonna eat roses? That's like, what is this? The Little Mermaid?
All right. Next.
What was that? Bad apples. Oh no, I'm not going to go to there. No, thank you. No way. Taking us back to The Last Jedi. No, please don't.
Oh my gosh.
Green eggs and ham. No, I will not eat them, Sam. I am. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. So characters that we want to replace. So yeah. Okay, so that would be my choice. Would be Nicole Kidman and Raymond Park.
Okay.
I think I'd like to see in Raymond's character, like the doctor. You remember the nerdy scientist guy from Pacific Rim, the one that hooked himself up to the alien brain? Okay, so I would have him as the scientist.
Right.
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
my
he
God, Sith,
would
what are you doing? Hey, remember those succulent mercamel nips? Stop it! You're ruining my chat.
He's trying to get as many times mentioned on this chat as possible.
No, man. You know what it is? He wants to get an invite in, and I'm thinking maybe we just have a third person in because I'm noticing all the dead space we got.
It's up to you.
All right. Sith, do you want to invite? Do you want to come in and join us? Do you want to discuss with us Aquaman the movie? Trolling is my life. Okay, that's
you don't want that life. It's not good.
He's getting an invite. Okay, so you keep talking, and I want to try and figure out how to do this.
Oh gosh, I keep talking.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay,
So
who would you replace? That's the $1 million question.
Oh God, I didn't have time to think about this. Who would I replace? I think definitely the professor. I would definitely replace him, or have him tone down his acting a little bit.
Wait, the professor?
The scientist. Sorry, the Asian scientist.
Oh yeah.
I would replace him. And who would I replace him with? See, I'm not good with actor names, so.
Well, I just Googled the cast for the movie, and they're all right there. So.
No, I mean like trying to think of the names of the person I would replace him with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What kind of person would you have on there as the, like, who was your go-to person for like the nerdy scientist / conspiracy theorist? Dead space.
I know. This is really bad. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's like your insights are good. It's just you got to brush up on your.
My cat, trying to figure things out on the spot.
Have you guys heard the good news?
Oh my gosh! Hey, there he is.
There we go.
Have you heard the news, guys?
Here we go. He found Jesus
is our Lord and Savior.
What was that? I didn't hear it.
Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. Did you hear the good news?
Oh man! Did you hit your head?
Roger, cut him out.
Did you hit your head on the way in?
He had too much pizza.
Actually,
I told you no mushrooms after midnight.
Man, I got to get my vegetables.
That's not a vegetable.
Oh no!
It's a fungus. It'll rot your brain. So what do you got to add to this?
Well,
she's trying to figure out who to replace Raymond Park with.
You're a DC fan,
Alex
aren't
Jones.
You?
Who?
Alex Jones.
Oh my God. Yeah, have a cameo.
Frog's gay.
Oh my God, that would be so funny. That would be funny, but he's really over the top.
Yeah, true. Who would I replace him with? He was that doctor, right, who was warning about the Atlanteans on TV?
Yeah.
What about the guy who played the Hobbit?
Oh, Martin Freeman. Yeah, he would have been a good one.
Yeah. Oh, he would have been perfect.
Do you know, for some reason I keep seeing Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I was like thinking scientist. I don't know. Maybe he's just he looks nerdy.
What about Adrian Brody?
Adrian Brody? No, he's not eccentric enough.
True, true, true.
I liked him in Predators, and I liked him in King Kong. But yeah, you need someone who can play an eccentric character, like oh shoot, the guy that played Doc Brown, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
You know, he's got that raspy voice. You know, there's people under the sea. You know.
Oh gosh,
It's a gay bomb.
That really would convince people, wouldn't it?
Well, you got to have someone who's slightly eccentric, but not. I don't know. Raymond just overdid it for me. I was just like, I just wanted to shut it off. I wanted to stop listening, but I couldn't.
You know, you're going to see more of him because he's now teamed up with.
Oh, why? Now he's tinkering with. And it's like, and that's the other thing. Is like, how did Black Manta know anything about Atlantean technology to tear it apart and put it back together again and have it functioning?
Right.
And how does this guy know?
Wasn't he?
What's
working
that?
With them? Wasn't he working with them?
He was only working. He was a mercenary.
But
he was getting paid.
Yeah, he never had the technology before. That's why his weapons didn't pierce through Aquaman.
That's right. He gets it in the movie.
Yeah, so it was,
they just hand it to him. Said, "Here, this is the latest." You know,
it would have been better. It would have been better if one of the guys that like he was given some people to work with from Atlantis, he instructed them what to do. That would have made more sense.
Or maybe he enlists the doctor like as soon as he gets the technology from the Atlanteans.
Yeah, but how would the doctor know anything about it? I think it would have been good to develop the doctor a little bit more, and have him actually have had access to it somehow. Like he recovered like this wreckage, and he's been tinkering on it for like the last 10 years, and he's been able to figure out a lot of the alien tech or the Atlantean tech. So, you know, he can come up to Black Manta and say, by the way, I think I can help you, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
but
he should have got the suit in the second one because it's implied that him and the doctor are going to be the bad guys for the sequel in the post-credit.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe in the second one, the post-credit could be...
But how did they meet? How did the doctor even know about Black Manta?
I don't know.
That's another problem, you know. It's like
they're gonna they'll explain this in the second one.
Oh, okay. So more flashbacks. Goody.
Your favorite.
I love those. I'm so excited.
Are you excited for episode 9?
Hold on, I got a bucket.
Don't get him started on Star Wars, please.
Don't get me started. Even John Talks now is like, he's talking about Star Wars again.
Oh, really?
Oh, I saw he was on Bonnie's stream the other night. How did that go?
It was, oh my God, it was fun. It was a blast. I wish you'd been there. It would have been fun. Yeah.
I'm a young boy. I need to grow. I need my milk.
I'm not touching that.
Hey, speaking of milk, do you remember episode 8 when...
All right, Roger, it's time to say goodbye.
Oh, look at the time. We gotta go.
I'll see myself out.
That's good.
Oh my God. You know what? I'll give it this. Aquaman had a lot of potential.
It did.
But I think it would have had more potential with someone like Christopher Nolan. Because Christopher Nolan takes an artistic approach to making movies and to character development.
Yeah. I feel like it was a bit undercooked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved it. That being said, I still love the film.
It was fun. But the thing is, though, I want more than fun, you know. It's nice to be entertained, but I like to be taken places. I like to be introduced to new worlds. You know, I mean, I grew up on Twilight Zone. And so I got spoiled with like really good writers from like the 50s and the 60s.
I just wish they had given us a better cliffhanger. So there was something for me to be like, oh my God, I really want to see the next one now. But I just don't feel that from this film.
Yeah. The way I would have finished it is I would have had the the royal son, he wouldn't have to necessarily kill the queen, but he could have stabbed her or something with a blade, and then have a bunch of his guys waiting for him, and then just like jump onto one of their craft and take off. And
that's not respecting women.
Oh my god. Well, neither was the treatment of Ariel or Mira, whatever. Mira. At that little Italian village. I mean, they made her seem like such an idiot at the village. I was like, oh, for crying out loud. Oh, someone lost their daughter. Please help. Has anyone seen the parents of this lost little girl with the Pinocchio book? No.
You know what?
Go ahead.
And it was kind of so true, but still funny. When she did all that effort to extract the moisture from his sweat to activate that thing in the desert, and then Arthur was just like, I could have just peed on it. There's a lot of moments like that in the film, where if like on the surface it's like, oh cool, wow, and then you kind of think about it, and I was like, there was a much easier way to accomplish that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like James wanted to make this kid friendly because there wasn't really a lot of bloodshed.
You know what it was?
What?
It was the studio overreacting again to all the criticisms that Batman vs Superman got, and their reaction ruined Justice League. And while I do feel that kind of Marvel lighthearted sensibility has more of a place in Aquaman, it still in many ways felt a little bit forced and unnecessary. I did like, however, I thought Mera's powers were cool, and the fight scenes were great. Yeah. And I love that Black Manta kicked Arthur's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That was good.
I agree with that too.
I would have had Mera team up with Aquaman to defeat Black Manta.
We could still see that.
Well, I mean, in this movie, no, I wanted to see it in the first movie, because Aquaman or Arthur is still trying to get, a fix on who he is and what everything is all about. So he still needs to be somewhat vulnerable in the first movie.
Right. But didn't they team up anyway? Like, she took out the goons Manta brought with him, and then Arthur
she did. Yeah, she took him out with wine blades. That was exciting. It's like, what the hell? Where did that come from?
It's like, can freeze water?
I thought she was into water extraction, not water penetration.
No, that's your specialty, Roger.
Stop it. So yeah, no, it just there's a lot of things in that movie. It's just like, what, huh, what, It was like the antithesis to Rian Johnson. It was like the gotcha moments in reverse. So, like in Rian Johnson, with The Last Jedi, we get the gotcha moments that disappoint you, and with James Wan, you get the gotcha moments that just take you completely by surprise. Like, oh, they can do that,
Well, like I said, I would have liked to see more, like different weapons that these Atlantis people use, rather than just again blowing things up.
Yeah,
it would have been more interesting.
I would have loved to see Arthur's dad kind of go along the journey with them, just to bring that, like, that old man experience, like
the old man of the
practical, sea. Like practical kind of.
He's not blade proof, and he can't breathe underwater.
Yeah,
he needs some of that Atlantean technology.
Right.
Wink, wink.
Oh God.
Just needs a couple beers and he's good.
I mean, it's going to be like the Force powers. I can use the Force if you just touch my hand.
Oh, stop it.
I can breathe underwater if you just let me touch your trident. You your hands away from my trident. That's not my trident.
That's no moon.
To everyone who just tuned in, this is R-rated. Just want to let you know.
It is not. It's PG-13. Sith is here.
He's like 13 going on 30.
I didn't say it, Sith.
54.
She did. 54.
You sound really young for 54. What do you eat? A pizza. We know that already.
I just eat pizza and mushrooms, dude.
Oh my
and soy milk.
Soy milk.
Oh, that's soy milk.
All right, let's get off the soy milk.
Okay.
Don't get Roger started again.
No, don't let me go there.
Don't take me back to the dark place.
Don't make me angry.
See, and you wonder why I don't go on your live streams. This is why.
Hey, Roger, I keep telling Roger, like, he's like, hey, we should have Viv on here. And I'm like, are you sure? You really want to do that?
I tune into your live streams and I'm like, I just wouldn't be able to keep up because you guys are going like 200 miles an hour. And I'll be like, what was the last question? Give me a minute. Let me think about it. Let this sink in. And you guys are like off on the next subject already. I'm like, no, I can't do this.
You can catch up on it when we have our tangents because we have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We could do like a separate stream. Like, it doesn't have to be a regular Send It stream if you do want to go on there.
Oh my God, No Way is seriously having a conversation with himself. He's like,
I have completely deserted the live chat.
Let me touch your trident. I want to breathe underwater. Come on, let me touch it. Wow, I didn't expect that. That's a Wonder Woman.
Oh my God. What the?
I suddenly feel normal.
Oh my God, that's funny. All right, so are we going to wrap this up, or is there anything else to talk about?
This up because it's just getting too weird.
I think we've run out of things to talk about. So let's look at the cast. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Amber Heard as, oh my God,
As my wife.
Mira. / Ariel. I'm surprised she didn't lose her voice at some point. Huh?
Oh yeah, that's true. I was gonna say she probably doesn't eat pizza.
No, she just eats roses. She's
I know.
fine.
Lots of roses.
Have some red ones. They're good for your blood. What'd you say, Sith? I'm sorry.
I said she could eat my roses.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Moving on. So Patrick Wilson played the Ocean Master. He brings the mist with him wherever he goes. He's the Ocean Mister. Oh, I feel so moist.
God.
I know. Exactly.
Okay, so Nicole Kidman was well, I love these original names. Atlanta. Are you from Georgia? No, I'm from the ocean.
Oh God.
Dolph Lundgren playing King Neverspeak. Oh no, sorry, Nereus. Yahya Abdul Mateen II played Black Manta, and he'll be coming to America Part 2.
You sound Indian, babe.
No, I don't. Shush.
What?
Holy God, it sounded Indian.
I've been looking for you, Papa.
Oh my gosh.
Get back to the comedy shop. Willem Dafoe was Nudist Volko. No wonder they didn't say his first name. He's from the nudist colony. Or is it Nudis? Nuidis. How do you pronounce this? Where do they get these names? George Lucas has better names, except for Jar Jar. Tamara Morrison. They don't give his name. I guess Dad. Ludi Lin. Randall Park played the doctor. And oh my God, Jamon Hansu. Was he in Aquaman? What part was he?
What?
Yeah, Jamon Hansu. Graham McTavish, he played the king with the magic trident that everybody wanted.
Right.
Graham McTavish played one of the dwarves in The Hobbit. He was the badass bald one.
Okay. I remember him.
So you see him briefly as the king, but you don't really get to see his face. I had to really squint to look at it. It's like, wait a minute, that's Graham McTavish. So, but that was the second time we saw it because I was looking for him. Oh my God, Julie Andrews was in there as well. Wow.
Julie Andrews?
Yeah, Julie Andrews. Mary Poppins was in this.
What did she play?
I don't know. Maybe she played Leia's role underwater, where she flies to the air. I don't know. I have to look that up, but they don't list it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is our Aquaman review with Roger and Vivian and our special guest, our special last minute guest.
Very special.
I want to thank everybody for joining us in our chat and putting up with us. Hey, Black Angus is here.
Yeah.
Shout out Angus.
Der Ocean Meister. Yeah. That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
I still like Ocean Mister. You know, he just goes around with his spray gun. It's like, you're dry, you're wet. You're dry, you're wet.
Yes, I'm sure DC is going to draw a lot of ideas from this review.
Yeah, I'm writing up my syllabus.
Only if they want to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, true.
DC, are you listening?
Aquaman 2, Rise of the Ocean Mister.
Oh my god.
Squirt, squirt. On that note.
Yeah, we should just end it.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. And this has been a Roger and Vivian production.
Subscribe.
And yeah, be sure and like and subscribe. Vivian, do you have any Twitter or any accounts that you want people to?
I don't have a Twitter account. I have an Instagram, and it's VIVLAW 13, Vivlaw 13. So if you want to follow me there, that'd be great.
Yep, and she does amazing jewelry. She does beaded necklaces. Come on, you got to sell yourself here. You got to do the pitch.
All right.
Hey, Mary, that's not nice. This has been a shit show. LOL. Yeah, I see through the LOL, Mary. Okay, so sell your jewelry, Viv.
Oh, God.
Come on, work it, sell it, own it.
I'm wearing it. You can see it on me. It's in my picture. That's what I do.
Hey, do you guys want to make a lot of money off of that? I have an idea.
Uh-oh. Let's hear
I can model it.
You can model it.
I have to.
You have to shave, Sif.
Okay, let's not go there. But do you have any cover pictures or like headshots that you can send me?
Yeah. Did you see Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
I play Mr. Smith.
No. You don't sound like Mr. Smith.
Yes, I do. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do a Brad Pitt.
No, you can't. All right, babe.
All right, Sif. So Sif, you wanna push the Senate or anything? Promote?
Yeah, if you enjoyed me, you can find me in your closet. So just stop by.
You can join me in room 201. All right.
So come on, Senate. Sell it.
Yeah. I do this show every week called The Senate with a bunch of idiots. We talk about
that you invited.
Most people seem to like it, so check it out on my channel, Sith Kryptonian. Thank you.
That's it? That's all you got?
What about
your Twitter? What about your Twitter?
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at Sith Crypto YT, and that's crypto with a K.
I got to be Whitey.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I'm Roger the Iron Wolf 1970. You can find me on Twitter, Roger Larson 1970. I do a lot of drawings. I draw avatars for my friends for fun. On YouTube, I'm Quentin Lars. Most of my videos, except for this one, are about meditation and energy work. So I want to thank everyone for joining us, and just want to say thank you. All right.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
You're welcome, everyone.
See you next time. Bye-bye.